Okay, so say you've got an audience, you've got people that knew you in your previous incarnation, but you're just not connecting with enough people. They're complaining about the burden of your cost and everything like that. You find yourself working as a maintenance man in public housing. I want to talk to you about study materials that are related to who you're supposed to be, that that you need to work on. I'm going to assign this entire set of books, this blue books down here. Okay. There are 10 of these. They are all in print. You might have to buy them used, but you have to own your own copy and buy them with their wages that you have working here and keep them at the place where you live now. So you will have to have them. You're not going to be hiding them. There is no hiding anything here, as you well know, because you've been in my home a whole bunch of times. So this is called the Treasury of Knowledge, Jamgon Kongtrul Lodro Taye, and they were published by Snow Lion. And chances are you're going to have to buy them used, but you could probably get them new. It will set you back hundreds of dollars, and you will have to do that on your day labor wages without having filled in a W-2 form. Now, if you can pull that off, we can start talking about putting you back on your throne. If you cannot accomplish that, then you do not value this. And you're going to be the next Willie. You're going to be the next Willie James, running around here. You got your girls over there. You're going around collecting your taxes from all the tenants. And I don't think that's going to make my brother real happy. He's got needs that ain't going to fill. So, if you want to get out of here, this is this is the gateway to anything else you would ever want to read. And you need to read them cover to cover. I didn't read all of the footnotes in these, but I would recommend that you do so. There's one of these books that's just this huge list of lineages. You need to read that. If somebody else wants to kick in for test proctoring or anything like that, because I'm not going to do that. I just said you have to read these books. You have to dedicate the time for it when you come home from work. Figure out what it takes. I take a lot of supplements. I'm on an income. I see this guy here. He's 5 days a week, 7 hours a day. That is double what I'm making, what I'm getting at least. A lot more money than I'm getting. So maybe you've got these arrangements where in order to get these no W-2 kind of day labor jobs that you've got to give a lot of that money to somebody else. I don't know. But you need to find the money to get these books. Not reading mine. Do not read copies. Do not borrow them from someone else. You have to buy them yourself. You have to keep them. You have to take good care of them. And you have to read every single one of them. I think it took me less than a year to read them all. And I was reading some other stuff on the side, so, but they are written for the layperson to access, and, but they are also meaty enough that people with a background can access them. This first one, Myriad Worlds, is like the Cliff Notes of the Kala Chakra, and Abhidharma, that's right. And it's on cosmology, and so all of these things, because considering who they say that you are, you used to be, all of that sort of stuff, you need to have knowledge of what's in these books especially. And then you can start working on other stuff. Any of the books on my shelves, if you could find your own copies of those, that would be a good start. To have, wider horizons as far as I don't know what your daily practices are, if you've ever been assigned any kind of daily practices. but you definitely need those. When I started writing those, I was just improvising daily practices, and then I bought some off of Lama Mingmar Satan. Lama Kempo Lama Kempo Mingmar Satan. I call him Lama Satan because that sells books around here. Yeah. What person should I go with here? Oh, Lama Satan. I think that sounds like he might be able to relate to me. Probably not, but you taught at Harvard. You're just a Satanist. But but yeah. As you read these books, I was just doing a belly dancing lesson, and it was just really simple choreography, but I was getting stressed out because I don't have the accumulation of these moves to where they become second nature. And see, what I'm trying to do is to make my evening free-form belly dancing after supper because this neighborhood is too scary and I can't do a fart walk. And it's how I keep Vinny happy because he's watching all the time. Always. Everybody else is going to watch me. He's been watching me my whole life, ever since he was at least 14. And so, you're not going to surprise him about anything. But, that it'll be really stressful to read the first book is kind of more fun because it's about cosmology. After that, it gets tedious for a while. He does a really good job in these books of dragging you a little further before he gives you like a pat on the back, a little further before he gives you a pat on the back. There's these little nuggets in there. He starts the first few books with a little bit of humor. And as he gets to the end, there's no humor. And then the climax at the end is kind of anticlimactic. You said, really, dude? Yeah. It's like, talking about, and then wouldn't it be fun to do an elaborate Guya Samaja? And like, not really. No, I don't think that would be fun at all. And I don't know if that's a point or not. But by the time he gets to the end of his life, he's writing some really cool stuff about Chakra Sambhara. He's just got all sorts of text about Chakra Sambhara. And that's in the dark blue section that you have to read the light blue before you read the dark blue books. And they are not going to finish those. They got through 10 of them, I think. 11 of them. There's 11 of them. There's supposed to be 18 or 19 of them. I don't think anybody ever translates the rest of them. I know I surely didn't. If that's... And then any other books you pick up... but you want to... This will get you to where your favorites and the ones you don't like, you're treating them evenly. Okay? Because if you're going to be a public performer, Mr. Dharma and stuff like that in this tradition, you need to understand that tastes change, and you got to keep making that door because it's really expensive to live in Bhutan, and it's only going to get more so because you're not a local. And you need to work on that kind of stuff. If you're really hanging around out there, and another thing, stop taking what's not given. When you're at work, you're at work. Otherwise, you're stealing from me. You're stealing from your boss. I don't care what your boss has to say about it. Lead by example. I know they want you to just kind of piddle around and not show them up or anything like that. You're a 30-year-old man competing with 70-year-old people who can't retire because they had priors that prevented their employment, so they've been working day labor all their life. And if they do try to retire, they'll be on my income. Okay. But you're not even legal to work here, honey. And so this is a concession we're going to make because the law is not in effect, and I'm sure you made some sort of deal with somebody to be here. But these are the kinds of things you need to get over seeing this as fun, and then you got to get over seeing it as non-fun. Work with your dialogue, because people are going to come to you. How do you read these books? I opened this book, and you say it's so wonderful. How do you read this book? And you open it, turn page by page, read it out loud. Read out loud. See? And then your voice is louder than the voices in your head talking about this book and stuff. Then work through that. And then you get better at not saying those little snide things to people who are actually present.